Hello, everybody. How is everyone this evening? Welcome to Behind the Crime Door. And I'm Kristen for all the new people that may be joining us this evening. It's good to see all of you here with me tonight. Hello, Charles, Insomniac, to the Queen, Faye, Crimezilla. Welcome, welcome. So glad to see you always. Hey, John. Good to see you. Hi, Tech Death. Hey, Maria. How are you? Hi, CJK. Hey, Michelle. So good to see you. Hi, Island. Hello, Rose. Hey, country girl. Tech Death music is wonderful. I love it. I love listening to Tech Death music as well. Hey, Rosewood. How are you? Good to have you with us. Hey, Zooter15. Always good to have you here with us. Hey, Just Pam. Hey, True Crime Housewife. Hey, Bridget. How are you? Hey, Mystery Christy. Hi, Purdue RN. Hey, Danger Dave. Welcome. So good to see you always. I hope everybody had a good rest of their weekend. Hey, Mrs. Thang. Hey, Entropic Spore. So good to have you here with us. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Bossy. Hey, Allie, my friend. How are you? So good to see you, my dear. Hey, Salty Beach. Hey, Captain. How are you, my friend? So good to see you. Hey, Jennifer. Welcome. So good to see all my mods in the house tonight. Crimezilla, please be careful. I'm worried about all you guys down there, and I'm praying. I know it's going to be bad. I have friends down there, and I'm very worried about you all. So please take care. Hey, Tor, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, Margaret. Thank you so much. So good to have you here with us. So let's go ahead and get started. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Delphi and what happened over the weekend, where the case may be headed now. Is everything still on track as we thought? We're going to talk a little bit about that and get maybe a little bit of perspective. And then the rest of my show tonight is going to be on cyberbullying and cyber stalking. We have a serious problem with this in this country. We have a serious problem with this with our kids and our teenagers. But even more close to home, we have a serious problem with this surrounding the Delphi case and other cases. And I want to address it. I feel that it's time that this get addressed. So, um, let's talk a little bit about what went down this weekend with the Delphi case. I'm sure that all of us are are aware. We all follow it so very closely. You may have your own creators that you tend to look for information, and I will tell you that on Saturday I was not at home when all of this started. I was actually at my daughter's, and so I wasn't around my computer, but I had my phone, and my phone started blowing up. And as I said on Saturday night when I had Perry on, um, it was incredible. I had so many people trying to contact me, give me information, and then ask me if I knew if this information was true. Michelle, honey, please take care. I am so worried about you and everyone in Florida and in the Panhandle area, all of you. I'm so, so worried about you all. So please stay safe. Um, and we started getting notifications about this. And I was in close contact with some of my closest friends, confidants, collaborators, um, all afternoon. I was in constant contact with GonZo and with CopFacts. I was in contact with True Crime Maria. I had was in contact, constantly talking back and forth with Fig, and we were just trying to get information and share it with each other so that we could verify what we were hearing. My biggest thing was the verification of information. Jennifer Rochelle, my moderator, she was on the phone with me and was actually modding for someone else, the MOB crew, and she was trying to get information as well as Chris was live, and he was trying to tell people what was happening. So things were really going crazy. From what I understand, there was a Facebook group where the messages supposedly started, and Tech Death contacted me right away and let me know what he was hearing. And he was hearing stuff in the Discords, and he was trying to help me verify if it was true or not. And I'm sure that all of you were in the same boat as I was. You were probably all trying to get information too. And one of the things that I can tell you, I chose purposefully not to go live. Um, I had the ability to do that at my daughter's house, and I chose not to do it because um, I couldn't verify anything. And I didn't want to go on and start fueling people's hopes because they were already being fueled. It was everywhere. It was all over Reddit. It was all over Facebook, and it was all over the YouTube. And I'm not at all saying anything about those who did go live. Totally understand why they did. It was just my choice. I was so emotional at the time it was all happening because we really wanted to know. It's like we really, really wanted to keep the hype down, I guess, until we could verify things. And everybody was running every direction. And as the first things were coming out and people were saying that Tony Klein had been arrested, we went from Tony Klein being arrested to 30 cop cars seen going down the Hoosier Heartland Highway from Lafayette, and they were Indiana State Police cars headed towards Delphi. We got reports right after that that there were a number of helicopters that were seen taking off from down by Indianapolis, headed towards Peru. We had people talking about that they had verified with neighbors of Tony Klein that this actually did happen, that they saw it go down. We had people claiming that that they actually heard the charges as he was being arrested and that they were for murder. I mean, it was just crazy how things just kept stacking one after another. It was the worst game of telephone I've ever been a part of. We also wanted closure. We were all so hopeful that this was it, and this was what we've all been waiting for and praying for 5.5 years. And I understand why everybody after it happened, because I got wrapped up into it as well. I was in tears. I had all these different emotions, and we were desperately trying to find out if it was true. And I was talking about the, when I was talking to Fig about this, we were trying to figure out if things were happening or not. And it was like, well, the easiest way to do that would be to call the Miami County Jail and the Delphi County Jail and find out if Tony Klein's there. So that was done. And they said, no, he was not in either place. Well, then the more I got to thinking about it, I was like, well, they're not going to admit that, though. They don't have to, for one. You can take someone into custody without charging them for up to 48 hours. You can hold them, question them, and you don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to put that on a blotter, on a police blotter, anywhere that person is being held for questioning. And so I started thinking about that, and I was like, well, this is a Saturday. So the court system works so differently on the weekends. And if you have ever known anyone who's been arrested on the weekends, they usually don't get booked until they don't have their court dates until the following Monday, where they actually get their charges in open court. And so I was thinking, this could go on till probably even as late as today for when they would have to release or hold him or whatever, or charge him. And so that's something that we need to keep in mind when we're thinking about this case and how things happen. Everybody was, because one of the last things to happen was the announcement that there was going to be a press conference at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And everybody was crazy about that and thinking we were going to hear something. And then it was, no, there's not going to be a press conference. It's just going to be a press release or something to that effect. And that didn't happen. We didn't actually get a press story until around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Fox 59 put out the story. And at that time, they had the quotes from Doug Carter. Doug Carter basically said that there had been no arrest made in the Delphi case, and that some of the rumors online were nonsense. Based on what he said, I found two things interesting. I found it interesting that he did not address the search nearly 5 weeks in length of the Wabash River. He didn't say that that was ridiculous and that the Wabash River search has nothing to do with Delphi. He didn't say that, which he very well could have. And he also didn't say that all these rumors that are floating around on social media are nonsense. He said some. And that to me was huge. Earlier or around that same time that evening, we got tweets from Kelsey, and Kelsey German, who's Liberty German's sister, tweeted that, "Come on, guys, if anything breaks in the Delphi case, our families will be the first ones notified by law enforcement, and we and law enforcement will tell you." Kelsey basically told us as soon as she knows, she will tweet it out. She will let us know that something has broke in the case. So what is so sad about all of this that happened, and we talked about it on Saturday night with Cop Facts, is that a lot of what happened between Thursday and Saturday could have very assuredly hurt this case. The murder sheet releasing information from a source that they were not authorized to release it from was malpractice on their part and could very well hurt this case, hurt a jury, taint a jury, and put people's lives in danger. And I'm really, I was thinking about this the other night when I was in Sunny Justice's channel and listening to some of the stuff that Adam and Deb and Sunny were talking about. And I am here to say I have big shoulders. I have been through hell and back in my own life. I've lost a child. Nothing that I come up against, it can be any worse than my 10-month battle with cancer with my son. He was 4 years old, and I had to deal with that and all of the railroad or a roller coaster ride of the up and downs of his treatment and ultimately losing him. And there's nothing that you guys or anybody in this community can throw at me that is going to stop me from talking about the things that I feel personally are wrong. And when I have 2 law enforcement officers telling me that I'm correct and spot on, which are Perry Freeman and Steve from True Crime Web, I'm here to tell you I understand that I'm spot on. And so the misinformation around this case has to stop. People's lives are being destroyed. People's lives are being re-victimized over and over. Please stop and think about, before you post anything, before you tweet something about this case, before you create a video about this case, stop and think about what this might or may do to the families that are left behind. Am I helping or am I hurting? Am I hurting the case or am I helping the case? Because I think we all need to stop and think about that. Am I helping it or am I hurting it? We have to. Just have to do better as a community that covers true crime. True crime, I hate the word entertainment, but true crime has truly become entertainment, and people seek it out. They enjoy it. They like hearing about these stories and how maybe it's the mystery, maybe it's the investigation itself and how they're actually found out, how they're caught. Um, and all of it. But for each of us, it could be a different reason as to why we are lured into true crime. But um, Danger Day. Sorry, guys, I did it again. I just knocked myself out of the stream. Sorry. Danger Dave said it best. Too many people in this case or any other case, they're making it about themselves. And it's sad. Oh, Kristen. Oh, Grizz, thank you so much. I'm glad that you'll be listening while you play poker. That's awesome. And so when you stop and think about, put yourself in the position of a family member who's had a murdered child. There is nothing worse than the death of your child. Trust me. Trust me on that. You don't want to belong to that club ever. There's nothing worse. And then to have them murdered is got to be hell on earth. And you're sitting here waiting 5.5 years for justice to come for your child. And you are never allowed to get away from it. It's not like you can go to bed and close your eyes at night and think about something else, or go turn on the TV and think about something else, or step away from the case and do something else for a few months and come back to it. The families don't have the ability to do that. This is with them 24/7. And what happened on Saturday has to just hurt them beyond compare. I just can't imagine what that must be like, that roller coaster, because you know that they're the same. They want this to happen. And the stuff starts flying. And I'm sure that they were probably contacting law enforcement because they have their own contacts directly with law enforcement. I'm sure that they have Doug Carter's personal phone number, so they can call and ask, is any of this true? Of course, they're going to tell them the truth. And it's just sad, and it angers me because people don't stop and think about it. Hey, who's your cold case? It's so good to see you. I wish you would email me. I would like to talk to you. Anyway, so that's just something that I wanted to say about what did happen on Saturday. And yeah, there's a lot of speculation going on. There's a lot of rumors going on. There's still a lady that is claiming she is Tony Klein's neighbor, and that she saw what she saw. She is still posting that, and that she believes that. Now, I have other sources that said they saw Tony yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Sunday buying dog food. He was somewhere buying dog food. So, I mean, like I said, I just think we have to step back and not be so quick to throw things out there until we can verify them. And law enforcement and the family are going to be the ones who tell us when this case explodes. I do believe it's happening. I believe they're working diligently. And I also, Molly, you are so funny. That is hilarious. Reminds me of Mrs. Kravitz from Bewitched. That's what it reminds me of. Um, I I do want to say thank you to everyone who watched and supported my video and my live on Saturday. Um, Amazing that that was my biggest audience, and my video kind of just blew up. I mean, it's nearing 4,000 views, and that's my by far my best video or live stream that I've put out. So Copfax had a lot to talk about with it. We both were extremely upset and extremely angered by it and the fact that it turned out to not be true. Um, but I just I told Maria and I told Fig when I was talking to them on Saturday, I prayed and hoped that this was not intentional, that someone would do that intentionally and put out that information, and that it was someone who really truly thought it was true. Hey, Steve, welcome, and Mrs. Steve, how are you? Um, so I'm like, I I tend to preach on that subject because it's to me it's extremely important. And it's important where, hey Metal Mama, how are you? Um hey D Ashley, how are you? It's really hard for me to be really mad at most of us because like I said, we all follow this case um, because we want the case solved. We are not trying to harm the case. We're not trying to um, make it a jumping off point for something else in our career. Um, I have no plans to do anything with this case when it's solved. I don't want to be a part of a movie. I don't want to be a part of a book. Um, this case is very sad in so many ways. Um, there's just been so many people that have been torn apart by this, and families have been torn apart by this case, um, literally, and they are hurting. And and I think that that's when you're on Twitter and you're reading the Twitter, because Twitter's so different than some of the other social media, in my opinion. But we hear a lot from family members on Twitter who actually have lost loved ones, and they post a lot about this and um, how they feel about people covering their family and their family's tragedy. And one of the things that I remember when I was talking to Fig Solves early in the spring after I started my channel, and I was talking to Fig one day about Delphi, and we were just having this nice conversation, this nice chat, and he brought up to me that he had lost a very close family member to murder. And of course, I was shocked. And he went on to tell me the story of Tristan, his cousin. And I went ahead and asked him point blank. I said, Fig, I really would like to cover Tristan's story on my channel. Um, would that upset you or would that bother you? And he answered right away, no. He said, I absolutely want you to cover it. And I did. And I did a couple of different episodes of it. So um, please look for that in my videos, in my live streams, because it's really worth watching. But um, he went on to tell me later that his family didn't want other people covering Tristan's story. In fact, he had been approached by Good Morning America and some other really high profile talk shows and things like that that wanted to interview him and bring him on, and he wouldn't do it. But he came on and let me interview him. And that just touched my heart because he trusted me with himself, with his heart, with his feelings, and with his cousin's case. And I think that that is something when you listen to him and you talk to him about how some of these people cover things, it can be so wound opening to these family members. Um, Talking about the loved one who's no longer here as if they're not a person, where we dehumanize them in our speak and our talk, because sometimes I feel like we do it to Abby and Libby because we just talk about the murder site and all these things. And, it's like, how do you go on about that kind of stuff knowing that their family's listening? That was one reason that I was so upset about the Ron Logan information coming out, because I don't think we need to have all of that direct information right now about the crime scene. There's things that we just don't need to know, and there's things we don't have a right to know. And it's that simple. It's not our family members. It's not our children that were murdered in those woods. We don't need the graphic depiction of what happened. That's just my feeling on it. How has anybody out there been watching the Dahmer documentary on Netflix? Man, you talk about something that's hard to watch. I started it because everybody was talking about it, and I don't know if you guys watch Grizzly True Crime or not with Gazelle, but she is amazing. I love her, and she's a writer, and she just wrote a book about him, and it Gisela K is she's the author, and I think it's the monster, Jeff Dahmer the monster or something like that. But man, I'm telling you, I watched there's 12 episodes. I watched the first one by myself in the middle of the night in the dark, which was stupid. Um, but I did get through it, but I couldn't watch the second one. I had to wait because it upset me so bad. And yeah, she's a writer. She's very good at what she does. And so I'm into the third one, but it's been so hard. I keep having to turn it off. And what's so bizarre is I lived through Dahmer. Um, I remember it very well, and when it was all happening, and just as much as I do Gacy, because I'm in Illinois, and so those regionally are very close to where I am, and it was everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. Um, and I knew how awful the things were, but man, to sit and watch, the actor who's playing Jeff Dahmer is amazing. So, wow. But anyway, that was just that's just part of it. It's like I can just imagine down the road the movies that are going to be made about this case and how they're going to tell their story. And I've always told you guys since day 1 when I started my channel, how we tell their story matters. And I got that saying from Incognito Society. She was my how do I want to put it? She was the first woman that I watched on YouTube covering the Delphi case was Incog, and I love her. She has done some amazing work on Delphi, and she said that how we choose to tell their story matters, and it's so important. And I think that we lose sight of that as a collective when it comes to true crime people and channels. And I'm not here to say um, how you should handle your channel. That's not what I'm trying to do. That I'm not the channel police. Please don't call me that. But I'm just saying, you need to cover the stories with integrity and with some character. And how you do that really speaks to you as a person. That's just how I feel. I miss the fact that Incog's not been putting out stuff as much as she used to. But I understand why, because we're going to get into that in a little bit. The cases can become so toxic with toxic individuals that are all around them on the fringe, um, or even smack dab in the middle, really, because there's a lot of toxicity in and around this case, and even with people who have close to 100,000 followers or subscribers. There's toxic stuff. Hey, Gonzo, how are you doing, hun? How are you feeling? How are you? Incog is awesome. I love her. I love her. She is what really, really made me know that I wanted to do this, because I knew that I could do it, and I was like, she just gave me a lot of confidence, I guess, is the word I was looking for. Hey, SP74. Um, and you would think that they would want to report the case or cover the case with integrity. And when you see these people out there that are slamming the family and slamming Kelsey and throwing these people under the bus, to this very day, they're still doing it. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I just, like I said, it's just crazy. We have a lot of toxicity in this true crime world. And I know it's in other places on the internet, don't get me wrong, but I'm only going to being addressing what's going on in our world around here. And we're adults, we're not children covering this stuff. We're not teenagers covering this stuff. But I have seen behavior that I wouldn't even see in my 4-year-old grandson. And I have tried to stay out of this behavior as much as I possibly can. People have asked me over and over why I don't talk about this person or that person anymore, or why you don't see them around me anymore, or whatever. And all I can tell you is that it doesn't take long when you are in this community to start figuring out who are the good guys and who are the bad ones, or the ones that you need to steer clear of and stay away from. And we have to do better, not only as subscribers, but as content creators. We have to do better, because what happens is when we start getting a following and people start wanting to hear what we have to say, then it matters. Words matter. I made a community post this week, you guys, and I said, not only can words hurt, words can kill. We have children out there killing themselves because of cyber bullies. It's happening everywhere. It's happening way, way too often. And to not speak up about it, and to not want to do better, I have no use for those people. If you want to unsubscribe from me, go right on ahead, because I'm sorry, I'm not here for you. um, I'm like, it's I'm just really tired of it, and I've said here, I've been on my channel now for 7 months, and I've watched a lot of things happen, a lot of things go down. I will tell you that I had a bad episode with, a particular YouTuber, um, and I know he won't care if I say his name, but Sleuth Intuition and I had an issue. We rectified that, he and I. We came to terms with what happened in the public eye between the two of us. Behind the scenes, we took care of it. Um, and Sleuth and I are fine, and I respect him. Um, and I know he respects me. And I I go to his chats, and I listen to what he has to say. Do I agree with everything that Sleuth does? No. Do I have to? No. Can I still be respectful and kind to Sleuth? Doggone right I can. Should I? Yes, because Sleuth's not out there hurting people anymore. Sleuth has changed his game. Sleuth is out there to do real good reporting and make sure that the truth is getting out. And it's hard. It's really hard, you guys. We've all been there, and we've been fooled by some of these creators who are, how do I want to put it? They're narcissists, misogynists, con men, grifters. There's just all kinds of words that we can use for these people. And I'm not going to name names. So anybody in the chat that thinks I'm going to sit here and name names, the people I'm talking about know who they are. I don't have to call them out. Anybody who watches them should know who they are. I have seen so much in 7 months. There's been a couple of times when I had to re-ask myself, why am I here? Do I really want to take on this abuse? Do I really want to deal with all of these trolls? Do I really want to be attacked? You know? And all I can tell you is that my little boy is sitting up here on my shoulder every single day telling me, Mom, you are doing good work. Don't let them push you out, and don't let them silence you. And I listen to that every day, because I do believe that I was called to this. Don, you are so funny. Don says he got called a misogynist the other day, and he doesn't even know how to give massages. Funny. But it's not, it's true. And I will tell you this, the way women creators are treated is completely different than the way our male colleagues are treated. Let me tell you. And it's not funny. It's just not. And it's bothersome. And some of the things that I've found is that there's bullies out there. There are bullies that think that they can bully women in this community. They think that they can continue to bully them into silence and treat them like crap. And we're not going to let them do it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore. I have at least every week 3 to 4 women emailing me, telling me of things that have happened to them online where they were either cyber stalked or cyber bullied by these people and these creators, especially online. And it is absolutely gonna stop. I'm in the works with a couple of different law enforcement people. I'm letting them know. I have a contact behind the scenes in YouTube that I have finally reached out to today and had a very long conversation with about what's going on in my community. And they were very receptive to what I had to say. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about cyber stalking and some of the things that a lot of people don't understand about it. There's been a lot of people making videos about stalking and bullying lately and kind of making it a joke. It's no joke. This is happening and it is not funny. Oh, good, Steve. I'm really happy to hear that she's rough on the bullies because you got to be. I'm not afraid of them. So, vindictive cyber stalkers are characterized by relentless harassment of their victim with a specific reason. They are frequently suffering from psychological disorders, and composed cyberstalkers aim to cause constant annoyance and irritation to the targeted victim. And they are out there. Go read their community posts. Go watch their videos. Go watch their live streams. It doesn't take you long to figure out what these people are about. And it's nothing good. So somebody asked me this when I was talking to him this afternoon, well, give us an explanation of what, or an example of what cyber stalking is. Some overt methods of cyber stalking and or digital harassment include sending unwelcome friend requests, unwelcome messages, poking, spamming, sending people viruses, sexting, constantly emailing and emailing after you've been asked to stop, calling, making obscene phone calls, threatening, telling people that you're going to dox them if they don't do what you've told them to do. The acts can also be more severe. They can send abusive, threatening, and obscene emails to the victim as well as their family. People going live and talking about their victim, making up all kinds of horrendous stories about their victim that are not true. By the way, you guys, everything I'm talking about is against the law. It's against the law in Belgium, and it's against the law in Peru. And when you talk to the American consulate in Peru, they want to know what's happening. There are the three most common forms of cyber stalking is email stalking, sending hate and obscene or threatening emails, or sending viruses and spam. Internet stalking, spreading rumors, tracking victims on the web, trying to find out where they live, trying to get their real address, their real information. It is absolutely insanity. Computer stalking can be hacking into a victim's actual computer and taking control of it. I actually know of someone around this case who thinks her phone was hacked. That's crazy to me. Cyber stalking is a crime. And it is a crime because the person is harassing or stalking a victim using electronic or digital means such as social media, email, instant messaging, or messages posted to a discussion group forum, or via video on YouTube. It is against the law. I want to say to everyone watching, if you have been a victim of this, please make sure that you make a history of everything you've received, everything. You need to know dates, times, you need the evidence, you need the receipts, screenshot things, do whatever you have to do to keep the evidence. The more evidence you can accumulate, the more that you have when you turn it over to authorities. Because this isn't a game that these people are playing. They think it is because they don't think anyone's going to do anything about it. They think that people are going to just, get scared and just leave the internet. Force them off. That's what they're hoping. If it happens to you, you have to report it. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's not just one. There's not just one creator out here doing this, you guys. There's a lot of them. I mean, it's just gotten ridiculous. And then they send their trolls out trolling us and trying to shut us down and make us stop talking about the important things. And you're right, Hoosier. There's a lot of people that do not think that the laws pertain to them, but we all know different. We all know that they do pertain to them. And we've drawn the line in the sand. I told you. I've listened to the last close person that I love cry to me on the phone about what has happened to her. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just not. So it's time to have it end. It's time for people to realize that we know who you are. We know where you are. And we're turning you in. So that's the end of that. I mean, it's just, people have asked me, Kristen, what do you do? How do you get them to stop? How does it happen? The number one thing you guys have to stop doing is responding to their communication. Never agree to anything that they're asking you to do. And never confront them about it. Just report it to authorities. The police nowadays take stalking reports seriously, and they've lots of experience investigating them. Anthony Greeno was just arrested for stalking. Anthony Greeno. We all know who he is. Almost 20,000 subscribers this man had. I was one of them. I was a paying member of his channel. He had a lot of us fooled. And I'm going to admit it. Everybody who knows me and really knows me knows this about me. They know that I was. They know how I felt about it when everything came to light of who he truly was. And all I can tell you is, he was threatening people from jail, threatening their lives, threatening their families' lives, and it caught up to him. A perfect example of someone who doesn't think the law pertains to them. We all need to learn and grow, Insomniac. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to act perfect. I'm just telling you that I'm done with the manipulation and the stalking and the treating others like crap around this case. That's not what this case needs. Delphi does not need that. It takes away from the case. It takes away from the girls. It's disrespectful. Hey, Mel, how are you, my dear? Love you. I think that there's all kinds of people who do this for fun. We've seen the trolls. And it's, Maria, you were absolutely right, honey. You were absolutely right. We had some major conversations about some of this stuff, and it's just gotten ridiculous. And Jennifer's right. So many people watch these creators. As I said, some of them upwards of 100,000 subscribers abuse people on their show, treat them like crap, and they think that it's great. They just totally and absolutely think it's great entertainment. It's sad. If that's what this world has come to, that people get their jollies or whatever talking about crime victims while the person who is telling their story is abusing their own subscribers, their own moderators, and their own paying members. I think I realized who goes and gets paid, who pays someone to abuse them. That was what I was about. I'm like, who does that? Well, I was one of them. I did. And I finally got a little bit smarter about it. And I am working with YouTube, Cheryl. I have two people that I've contacted. When I first contacted the first person, they put me in contact this afternoon with another person. So I've had two major conversations just today. And I will be continuing to work with YouTube. We are going to get these channels shut down, and we're going to get these people to stop doing what they're doing. And I have a strong feeling these people are using VPNs. And so it will be really hard because they can just pop right back up with another new name and go on their merry way. But as they continue to do that, we're going to continue to report them. We're going to continue to report them to law enforcement. But I'm here to tell you, people are going to come knocking on their doors because law enforcement's getting involved. And I'm just telling you, I'm not like this, you guys. And everybody who knows me, I try to stay out of this drama. And I know I'm going to have repercussions for this live stream. But at this point in time, I don't care. The person that's being hurt that I love the most is being silenced. She hasn't made a video in over 3 months, and everybody loves her. And I'm sick of it. I want her to be able to feel safe again. I want her to be able to feel like she has a voice in this community again. So people ask me, well, what can you do? You can report them. All you have to do when you go to someone's channel, you click on the About section, and on the About section, there's a little flag. You click on that flag, and it allows you to report the channel. That's all you have to do. Hey, Daisy, how are you, my dear? Hugs and love to you. Hoosier, I know. I want you to, please, will you email me? I want to have a conversation with you. Are you afraid of me? But yeah, and Hoosier's right. There has been many a creator that have been silenced because of bullying and being threatened. And, Mel from Cold Truth, my God, that woman's got a backbone. She's taken on Anthony Greeno, for God's sakes. She called him out when no one else would. She made 12 hours, I think. Is it 12, Mel? hours of a video about him and all of his charges and all of the things that he's done. And it's not even half of them, I'm sure, because I'm sure there's stuff that there's no charges for. And she is a very strong lady. I respect the hell out of her. I just do. And it's sad because there was a time when I was just talking to somebody today about Greeno. God, Anthony is so talented. You know, he really is. But instead of using his talent for good, he used his talent for horrible, horrible things. And it's sad. It's really sad. No, it's not, Nick. I'm not bullying anybody. All I'm doing is telling the truth. That's not bullying. Bridget, it's called Michelle or Jennifer or somebody. Will you please drop Cold Truth's channel in the in the chat? And Jennifer, if you get time, I'm going to send you a list of our regular friends so we can add them into Nightbot. Okay, I appreciate you. So, you know, like I said, I didn't want this to be a just hate on everybody live stream, but I really felt that we needed to talk about it and really talk about it. And what do they say? I went to the FBI's website about cyber stalking, cyber crimes, and they suggest you file a report with the police district where your business or home is located, and include all documentation of what's been happening. If you know the perpetrator's identity, that helps, but you don't have to. And as long as you know what's going on and you've got the record of where it's happening from, trust me, they can deep dive these people. I found that out today when I was talking to YouTube about it. You can also file a restraining order against the person because you don't know when those people that are psychologically sick in their brain is going to take their harassment offline and start harassing you in real life, like coming to your house or place of business or work or whatever. And that's what's so scary about this. And the number one people, both in teenagers and in adults, that are the victims of this crime are women. Women are the ones who are being victimized here. Now, does that mean that there can't be victim women who do this? Of course, there are women out there that are just as guilty of doing this to others. So don't come at me and say that I said that it's only men doing it. But the number one person, female, is who's this is happening to. People ask me, Kristen, how are they finding me? How can they find me? Because some of these women, they've actually been outed. They know where they live. They've been able to find them. And stalkers are smart, and they can easily get information and private information from your posts, from photos, from geotags, to figure out where you are. And if you're sharing your Facebook or your personal stuff online, stop it. Okay? Because one of the things you need to do is always never use your real name. She's my hero too, Crimezilla. She's my hero too. I love Mel. I can't say enough about her. If you're talking about the Harvey I think you are, Harvey trolls. Don't let you kid yourself. He trolled me when I first started my channel. Okay, so anyway, personal information, be very careful who you share it with. One of the things that happens in these situations is we come into these genres, we come into the true crime community and around Delphi, and we start making friends, and we start talking to people. We talk to people offline. We talk to them on Discord. We talk to them however, or you give out your personal information. You give out your phone number. You give out, and it's a very scary time. Yeah, John, I've been worried about you about that. I just wanted to tell you. I wanted to say something to you and I hadn't. So, it's okay, Jennifer. We'll be here when you get back. So, um so anyway, what was I gonna say? I'm sorry. My mind got one of the things that yeah, they can go out, they can do background checks on you. If they find out, they find your Facebook, or they're able to get into your personal Facebook account, they can find everything about you. So it's really, really important to try to keep your anonymity while you're on social media. I think that's one reason why Reddit is so toxic, you guys, because it's completely anonymous, and people, it's harder to figure out who people are over there. It's harder to dox them on Reddit. It's a lot easier to do it over here. So, just be careful with that. And that's one of the things that they talked about as far as how do they find them. And, you know, um, one of the things that they asked, um, what advice would you give to a friend who's the victim of cyber stalking? Have no contact with the stalker whatsoever. After the stalker's been told by the victim in a calm, clear, and firm manner that their intention is unwanted and that they are to stop all contact with the victim, their family and friends should have no further contact with the stalker. So it's very important that everyone around you is also not having contact with them. And if you have let people in your circle, in your social circle on social media know that you've been cyber stalked by someone, and you tell them who, those people continue to have a relationship with that person, you need to have no further contact with them, because they don't have your best interest at heart, and that stalker could be getting information about you. So, and like I said, these people believe that the police can't do anything to them. They believe that they are in the free and the clear. So remember, they're not, and you should report any cyber harassment. If you feel you're in any immediate danger, you need to do it right away. We understand the embarrassment and feeling scared, but you need to have law enforcement so they can protect you. Sorry, my nose is itching and I don't know why. I guess somebody must be talking about me. I'm sure there'll be a few videos made about me come this week, but I don't care. They wanted to know, how do stalkers find your phone number? There are several online directories that's called a reverse phone lookup to gather personal information about the person who holds that phone number. And for a small fee of about $50 and under, your stalker can have unlimited access to private information about your life. And it's horrible. The emotional turmoil that it takes, the emotional upheaval in the people's lives that have gone through this, it's beyond. And not only does it create almost like PTSD, because once the person stops stalking you and everything, it's not like this all um, continues to go on. It's like the stuff has happened. You've already been scarred by the stalking, and you're fearful and you're scared, and that just doesn't go away overnight. A lot of these content creators are career criminals. They're not just one. There's others. And one of the things I said, once you start getting into and really following them, it's like, they can look up all this information on you. So we should be able to look up all the information on them. And when you find out that they've got rap sheets 16 miles long, that's when it needs to be put out there. So people know who they're supporting and who they are choosing to send money to. And I can't get over the fact that Anthony Greeno was stalking someone behind bars. And the reason I can't is because he was using his chirping device to do it. And you doggone well know that those chirping devices are being monitored, or they're supposed to be, by law enforcement. Again, it goes back to what the heck's going on in Carroll County. What are Tobe and Tony Liggett doing to keep their prisoners from threatening the lives of people on the outside? What else did I want to talk to you about? If there's no violence in this harassment charge for someone who is texting you over and over again, you can get up to 6 months in prison for harassing over text. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to say. Let me look. I think it's in this other folder, because I had a whole bunch of information. So the first anti-stalking laws were enacted in California in 1990. And while all 50 states soon passed anti-stalking laws, by 2009, only 14 of them had laws specifically addressing high-tech stalking, which is digital. The first U.S. cyber stalking law went into effect in 1999 in California. So it's important that you turn your stalker in immediately, and get expert intervention with law enforcement, because the timely response of this minimizes the damage, because it allows for the developing unwanted consequence. No, he was just arrested, Pam. He hasn't even gone to court yet. Ability to seek criminal prosecution, ability to seek a restraining order, and an ability to pursue civil actions, because not only can they be tried criminally, but you can sue them for defamation and for slander. ability to pursue civil actions, and the ability to get your life back. When I was talking to my best friend's husband, who's a judge, he was talking to me about the stalking laws and the cyber harassing that people do, and putting stuff out online about someone that's not true, whatever that may be, whether it's calling them homosexual, whether it's calling them whatever it might be that's untrue. You can get them for slander. So they're ruining your reputation. He was already locked up, Ryan. He was just rearrested while he was in jail. And so again, what are we looking for here? We're looking for any unwanted, frightening, obscene emails, text messages, instant messages, harassing or threatening you on social media, tracking your computer and internet use, using technology such as GPS to track where you are, repeatedly making videos about you, slandering you and your reputation. All of those things are considered cyber stalking. And in California criminalizes cyber harassment, and it's a misdemeanor to electronically post certain types of information about an individual on the internet. Now, we all know that doxing is a crime, and you can get in big trouble. And not only is it a crime, but YouTube will kick you off their platform forever. And what's happening is some of these creators are being kicked off the platform, but they're coming back as somebody else. And one of the things that they do is they create a new persona, and they have a VPN. So without that ability to track that ISP address, it makes it very difficult for YouTube to get them. That's why it's important, if you know and you see them pop up again, you report them. Oh, good Lord, I would absolutely never, ever, ever dox anyone. So there are different phases. There are actually cyber forensic specialists that are good at tracking these people down. When I spoke to law enforcement today, they assured me that when people report this, it goes to their digital crime units, and they their digital forensic specialists will take all the evidence that they have and go searching to find out who these people are. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to know. So if they're, like I said, if they are harassing you to a point of where you just cannot live your life, and they're stalking you and doing that, you guys need to do the due diligence yourself. And if you need help or whatever, please make sure that you reach out to somebody that will help you and support you. So, a question that was asked of me today was, is it illegal to look someone up on Facebook? Just looking at someone's Facebook page is not illegal, and you can't get a warrant for a criminal charge of just looking at a Facebook. But if you are threatening someone or sending them dozens and dozens of unwanted emails, that can. The amount of unwarranted contact is another issue entirely. If someone tells you, "Hey, Perry, how are you, my dear? So good to see you." If someone tells you to stop, they don't want to hear from you anymore, you need to quit. So, because it's a crime. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say tonight, you guys. I don't want to keep harping on it. I want to get the message out there, and I wanted to let people know that I'm serious about it. Yes, SD said, after you've reported to law enforcement, let YouTube know that you filed a police report about this person. YouTube is going to do everything in their power to help you get this person off their platform. It is breaking and violating YouTube's terms of service for people to be acting this way. It is absolutely. Maria, I love you. You know that. And you are so very, very welcome. This is beyond crazy. It's just, I just can't even say. I have to stand up when I see abuse. When I see abuse of my friends, it's worse. Somebody said something to me the other day of, Kristen, you remind me of a mama grizzly bear. And it's the truth. I know a lot of people think I'm this meek, quiet grandmother who just does her YouTube channel and talks about wonderful topics and gives you all this information. If you try to hurt someone I love, you don't want to see that side of me come out. My daughter would tell you if she was here, she would tell you that I'm an advocate like no other when it comes to people that I love and people that I care about. And we all have to stand up. All of us have to stay together. All of us have to stand up and snuff this crap out when we find it and see it. And that's fine, Daisy. That's fine. I'm a mama bear. You got it. And we just have to stand up and say something. And somebody I know earlier in the chat said we need to name these people. And I agree, we do. But unfortunately, naming them is only going to make them worse when I publicly start calling them out. So what I've said enough today should lead people to know who I'm talking about. And if not, you're going to figure it out. Because all you need to do is start watching their videos and who they're talking about and who they're blasting and who they're throwing under the bus. Pay attention to their community posts. Pay attention to them pretending as that they are the victims here. Pay attention, because I guarantee you they're not. There's nothing a victim about them. And they do. They'll troll us, but I have some of the best moderators in the planet. And I'm here to tell you, let them try. They'll kick them. So thanks a lot, Allie. I want everybody to know how much I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you so very much. I really do. Abby and Libby's case is so important. The other cases that we cover are so important. The last thing we should have to do is spend 2 hours talking about cyberbullying around 2 dead children, or Flora for that matter. When we're talking about Flora, I mean, it's just absolutely insanity to me that adults behave like this when we're talking about dead children. And I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And I think everybody already knows that. I'm known as that crazy lady. I think Rick Snay called me that crazy lady over there way back when. And I already have that. I'll wear it proudly. I'm not crazy, but I am vocal. Hey, Joe. Oh, how are you? Missed you. How are you? You missed it, Joe. You missed it. Um, but I am very sick of it. I'm sick of the drama. I really had myself separated from it all summer. Didn't feel like I had any drama going on. I was able to focus on the case and really focus and all of that. I'm so good to hear, Joe. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry you missed it. You can watch the replay and see how I get upset. um, Captain, what's going on? What did I miss? I had someone repeatedly threaten me and my family, which is a big part of why I haven't made another video. You know what? That just hurts me. Sorry, guys, I did it again. Captain, that absolutely hurts me. It hurts my heart. You are such an amazing creator. We all look forward to your work. And I'm so sorry to hear that somebody was threatening you. I've said all along, we have a killer or an unknown killer or killers on the loose for Delphi. There are people out there that don't want us talking. And when we start to get close to something that they don't like, we either get trolled heavily or we start getting threats or this or that. And I am so sorry to hear this. It just makes me so sad. I hope that you turned them in, especially since they were threatening you and your family. Like I said, it just absolutely makes me so sad. You're one of my favorite creators. I started watching you about the same time I started watching Incog, and I just, you and True Crime Jesus, I loved your content, and it's like I said, there's just so much of this, and everybody, I think Hoosier has been a victim of this as well, and it's just pathetic, and it becomes so scary because when you start threatening not only the creator, but you take it outside of YouTube and the genre, and you start threatening their family and their family members. These people are psychotic. These people have serious emotional, psychological problems. Who does that? So I'm really sorry to hear that. And he'll always be the captain to me. I always call him the captain. Even though I had the captain from True Crime Garage on my show. If I had them together, I would call one Captain Howdy, but I know that, stalking. A lot of people are stalked. A lot of people are harassed. And it's really important. And like I said, call it out, you guys, when you see it. Don't sit back. I know this whole chirping device thing, I don't know when the heck that became a thing, but that needs to stop. Somebody needs to go to legislature and get those things taken away. They should not have that ability to do that. That's my opinion on that. That's ridiculous. Yes, Hoosier, he was stalked. He's a good friend of mine, and he was stalked. It's been so awful. It's just been so awful. It's crazy. And you've got other things going on in your life besides just YouTube and your channels, and you're trying to deal with with just running a channel and stuff. And then you've got people doing this to you, and you're trying to deal with what's happening in your life. You know, they're normal people just like I am and everybody else. You know, they have deaths in their families, they have illness in their families, themselves may become ill, whatever. And they're still dealing with these idiots that are threatening them. It's just crazy. Cheryl, a chirping device is a device that they give to inmates in prison or in county jail that allows them to text on the outside with anyone. It's expensive. You have to put money on the chirping device for them so that they can do it. But yeah, I agree, Joe. I wish we could just band together and help each other. I totally and absolutely agree with that. This world would be in a better place if we did. So let's see. Okay, Mel, thank you so much for being here. And no problem. You're very, very welcome. I couldn't take it anymore. Today was the final straw for me. And we've talked about this. Allie and I have talked about this, about these people who troll and whether or not they are related or friends of Bridge Guy. It would not, and the way this case has gone, it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me at this point in time. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I'm going to have a drawing for a Flora wristband. The Flora wristband is the one that's purple and black, like this one. It's got the girls' names on it, and it says for FOUR Justice for the Flora girls. Let me pull up my StreamYard giveaway tool. And we'll do the drawing. And what I'm going to do tonight for the drawing, it's going to be hashtag stop bullying. And it is spelled this way, you guys. I did it with a capital B, Metal Mama. Oh, good, Daisy. I'm so glad you got it. Good night, Jennifer. So, yep, put in stop bullying. And if you put in hashtag stop bullying, you'll be in the drawing. Right now I have 10 entries. And just make sure you guys get it spelled right. It's a capital B. Good night, Salty Beach. Thank you for being here. Good night, Cheryl. Thanks for being here. Good night, Allie. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Joe, I would, but my birthday's the 31st, and I've got stuff going on that day on the 29th, so I can't. I would love to, though. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and everybody in the drawing that wants to be in. Your birthday's the 29th? Well, mine's the 31st. I'm a Halloween baby. I am a spook. I'm actually a witch. Okay, here's the drawing, guys. It's thinking. Cool. Let me share my screen. So, Island hologram, congratulations. And if you go ahead and email me your information, I will get your wristband sent out to you. And I look forward to that. And I'm going to go ahead and draw one more. And this one is going to be for a Delphi wristband for the Delphi girls. So let me draw one more time. I'll give away 2 tonight. You guys have been so patient with me. Okay, awesome. Here we go. Insomniac to the Queen. You have won a Delphi wristband. And that's the one on my arm here. That's Libby and Abby, forever in our hearts. So just email me. I do not have the t-shirts. You can get the t-shirts off of the Abby and Libby, the I believe it is the memorial site is where you can get them. Thank you, because yeah, sometimes those emails get out of my inbox and then I don't have them. So yeah, please just email me over again. But congratulations to both of you. Again, thank you guys for everything. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Please stop bullying, and please speak up about it every chance you have. And everyone, I will plan on seeing you on Thursday night. I so appreciate all of you. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, because that really, really helps me in the algorithm, so more people get to see my lives. Thank you again, and everyone have a great evening. Be safe out there. To everyone who's in the path of the hurricane, my heart is with you, and I'm praying for you. So, Ryan, I have a Reddit subreddit. It's called Delphi's Daughters. That is my subreddit. So, yes, I am on Reddit. Good night, everyone.